Desert Island Discs on 91.3
Capital FM. 91.3 Capital FM, Desert Island Discs. It is on this wonderful Sunday evening, and as always, sharing life's best stories, and of course, as they say, from very ordinary folks, but with extraordinary life stories. This evening on the program, I have, one that would pass for an ordinary guy next door, but what he does and what he's been through is quite epic, and I wouldn't be wrong to say he's an extraordinary gentleman. Gabriel K. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Simon. Thanks for having me.
Gabriel here is a jack of all trades. Most importantly, we know him as a businessman involved in outdoor advertisement. He runs a company called Brand Active. He's also involved in the installation and maintenance of lifts, as we know them, these boxes that take us from one floor to another in buildings. He's into business in the most way you'd imagine. But if you've been keen around the capital city, you must have seen a billboard or two of him looking more like the real G. Now, you are a musician as well.
Just passionate stuff. It's a hobby, really. But primarily, I'm a businessman.
There we are, a businessman. Just take us through exactly what you do and then how you blend that with your newfound hobby. Because for all I know, you just dropped a 16-track album not so long ago. You're threatening to release another album. You just released the music video for one of the new songs.
I don't touch anything that I won't excel at. Mm-hmm. I must be passionate about it. So even business is, the branding business is very related to my earlier days. My earlier days, I did a job just like you're doing. I was a radio presenter. Mm-hmm. I was a TV presenter. I think I was the very first face on WBS TV when they opened. So my background has really been in media. So then I moved from media into advertising, and I've been building that company called Brand Active. So my turning point really, actually the title of this album is called Done Waiting. Mm. And the background to this title is exactly my turning point that has pushed me into music. My turning point was last year when I turned 40 years. And then I realized that I used to sing in my earlier days when I was about 20. So a whole 20 years I've been silent.
Only singing in the showers.
Yeah. Silent, singing in the showers, karaoke here and there. Mm-hmm. But when I turned 40, the question is, what legacy am I going to leave? As a businessman? No. One of the things I keep asking people is you go to Google and type in your name and see what comes out. The Google question was Gabriel K. showed a few pages about my business, but nothing else much. Is that what I want to leave as an impact in life? Mm-hmm. So what I want to leave as an impact in life is largely things that I've been passionate about, and I've been passionate about music for a long time. Let me go back to studio and do my things. I'm done waiting. So that's the background to the album title. And now it's here, 16 tracks, and you've listened to them. I hope they're satisfactory, even if for a businessman.
Well, for the benefit of our listeners, I'm sure today on the program you play nothing but your tracks. For the most part, what you just told us is the finished product called Gabriel K. But how was the making? Who is Gabriel K? Where was he born? When was he born? Yes, you told us 40 years ago, but who were you born?
I'm a Kampala born, but I am originally from Kabale, Mparo. Mparo is where Basiji come from. Mm-hmm. But my grandfather migrated to Kamwenje. My father moved to Rukunjiri. So right now I'm from a small town called Weyanja in Rukunjiri.
And you're not planning to move? Because it looks like every man in your generation keeps moving from one place to another.
No, personally I have put permanent residence there, so I don't think I'll be moving. Maybe my kids will move. But originally we are Kabale people, so I'm a Muchiga 311.
Not so much. Well, I'm sure they're listening to you from especially our Fort Poto and Barra frequencies, because those of Kamwenje, I'm sure will listen to you from that side.
I was born in Kampala, Morago.
Because your parents lived and worked here?
Worked here. Mm. My father worked for the Uganda East African Post Office for all his life.
Oh, great.
But during the war, we had to go back.
There's been many wars. So which war are you talking about?
Museveni, whatever. So we had to go back to the village. So my early days really in school were proper rural schools, at least for the first 5 years of my school education, where you walk maybe 10 kilometers a day to get to school.
Wow.
With packed lunch. By the time you're at school, maybe you even eaten it along the way.
Where was this village? Take us back there.
So we are just still a very local school called Nyabitete Primary School. Mm-hmm. So you can see very humble beginnings. Mm-hmm. My first early memories are right in the village.
Oh, okay, fine.
Fetching water, herding cows.
Chasing goats.
Then going to school, So it was that proper rural upbringing that a lot of people in my age bracket went through.
I asked her, you're an only child?
We are born many. Same father, same mother. We are 12 kids.
Oh,
6 girls, 6 boys. So my name Kakuru is a twin name. So there was a Kato, unfortunately passed out about 3 years of age.
Oh, dear.
So my memories are just pictures of him. Yeah.
Were you identical, you think?
No, we're not.
Okay.
He was a darker version of me.
Where were you in the family? Are you a first
I'm
a middle
number
child?
3.
Number 3.
Number 3. The first 3 of us were boys. Then after me, a few girls, like 3 girls followed. Largely, we grew up in a very strict Catholic family. She raised us with that rosary in the hand. So in a way, it shaped how I look at life and how I moved with life, the sense of moral responsibility.
So down here in this village setting and, humble beginnings, as it were, you, amidst all this, were able to balance between the hard knock domestic chores and the responsibility of going to school that was not so few kilometers away from home. Just take us back to that, the best of your recollection. I mean, we also can imagine what a village school must have looked like then. You may not have had chairs per se. You must
No
have been
chairs.
On mats.
The first few years, you're basically writing on
dust.
banana leaves. The banana leaves, you warm them on fire a little bit, so they turn color. Then you sharpen a stick. So that's what you're using, the sharp stick and the banana leaf that has been, what do you call it? When you warm it a little bit and it turns color, so you're able to write and something is clear to be seen. That is the basic life of the early 80s. So the books come in when you get to about P3.
That's when you also start using a pencil for the first time.
You start using a pencil. But later on, when the war was about to end, somehow there was some relief, and my father brought us to Kampala, back to Kampala. Then I joined an army school. So so even the army school had a strict
that's as good as going to jail.
Approach, yeah. So it's been a hard knock life, at least those early years.
On the program, Gabriel, we play our music. But before we play your first song,
yes,
you just told us in the introductory remarks that singing, or music for that matter, has been your passion.
Yes.
At what point did you discover music?
When we were growing up, I remember we used to have visitors in the house quite often, because around that time, a lot of families were not what we are today, the nuclear families. Families entertained a lot of people from their villages who'd come visiting. By that Kayola train from Kamwenje, Kasese, whatever, we had a lot of uncles who'd come home. Because we are 11 of us, we could form a choir, right? I was always the choir master. I was always the conductor.
But a choir.
So you can see.
It wasn't a choir, it was an orchestra.
Exactly. So as young as I was then, I was the one leading all of them into song as a conductor. So you can imagine when people say, I was born singing, maybe I'm one of those who would actually say that. Because those memories were very special to me. So we would entertain our visitors.
What songs would you be singing with your siblings?
To be honest, I can't remember now.
Must have been church hymns, considering that your mother raised you strict Catholic.
Yeah.
So let's roll quickly into what will be your choice for your first song.
Okay, this is what I've noticed my fan favorite. They love it. It's called We Just Want Love. It's actually #1 track on the album.
Wow.
We Just Want Love.
Is it something coming in from an experience you've had, or is it something that you feel is a philosophy that you hold?
It's a philosophy, because this song is just an inspirational song. Me loving you, Simon loving your kids, loving your get man. It's generally that life is hard enough. Being appreciated and feeling like somebody cares about you changes a lot.
We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3
Capital FM.
We are all the same, different on the outside, but the inside is the same. Every day we go out and face the day, from the big rich man to the poor man on the street. Yeah. At the end of the day, we all need some love. Yeah. Doesn't matter what face we are putting on. At the end of the day, we're just people, yeah. We just wanna love and be loved, to love and be loved, yeah. We ain't perfect, we're just people, yeah. We just wanna love and be loved, to love and be loved. We just want love. Just one la 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 la. of the day, we all need some love. Yeah. Doesn't matter what face we are putting on. At the end of the day, we're just people, yeah. We just wanna love and be loved. To love and be loved, yeah. We ain't perfect, we're just people, yeah. We just wanna love and be loved. To love and be loved. We just want love. We just want la 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 la. We just want love. Yeah. We just want la 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 la. At the end of the day, we all need some love, yeah. Doesn't matter what face we are putting on. At the end of the day, we're just people, yeah. We just wanna love and be loved. To love and be loved, yeah.
91.3 Capital FM Desert Island Disc Series on this wonderful Sunday evening. Gabriel K, or Gabriel Kakuru, that is his real biological name, but his stage name is still Gabriel K. He's a businessman in every sense of the word, but he's so passionate about music that now he's reached the point of self-actualization and is diving right into the deep end of music. Just before we played your first song, you told us about that whole growing up and your earliest memories of childhood. So towards the end of the war, 1986, around about then, your family relocates back to Kampala.
Yes.
Something has fundamentally shifted. One, you are enrolled into an army school.
You come into this area where you can't speak English well. The other kids speak a lot of Luganda in school. In fact, when I came, I was joining P4, and because of my background, my headmaster was tempted to take me back to P3, but I proved them wrong after a term that I could handle. So it was, the adjusting was a little difficult.
Of course, there's also the other catching up of, the exciting things that are beginning to, unfold right before your eyes. Electricity being one of those. I'm sure in university you didn't have electricity.
Water.
Tap water, the whole idea of
Things
using
take
a
for
lavatory
granted,
instead of a long drop latrine, as they call them. Wearing shoes on a daily, as opposed to in the village where shoes are worn only on Sunday, and for the affluent ones
The
like
Sunday
you.
best.
Absolutely.
It becomes a daily.
Yeah. How was your catching up?
Catching up wasn't hard. I mean, I made good friends in school. Strange enough, there were guys from the north. There's a gentleman called George Ayala was very close to me, and he taught me a few things about Kampala life. My mother was running a small kiosk that I was running, actually. She would put me there, and at that age I was selling to the army men a lot of cigarettes and all that. So I made a lot of friends with them. So even their stories and all that, my mind quickly, adjusted to becoming a little more mature in life. So it was not as...
And that did not inspire you well enough to join the military?
I wanted to, very much so.
What stopped you?
Until one friend of mine called Jack, one of the military guys, went to war and never came back.
Then you realized not a walk in the park.
I thought it went just beyond the smiles they would give me at the kiosk and the cigarettes, to the realities that guys go and don't come back.
Now, as you grow beyond just conducting your siblings, as a home domestic choir entertaining guests that drop by the house, is there any other music you did? Did you participate in music, dance, and drama in school, for example? And as you went through school, you got to secondary school, I am sure. Do you hone this skill a little more? Do you begin singing in a church choir? Because most musicians...
No, I never went to church choir, but as an altar boy, yes. As an altar boy, you get to sing as well. But this was a very unfortunate incident. I would really love to enter drama club and do my music very, very early on. So this time around, I was in East Kololo Primary School.
Oh, you had moved from the army school
Yes, to East Kololo. That was about when I was going into my P6. And I love drama so much. So there's a particular day of drama. I went where they were conducting the drama. The teacher had not yet come in.
The music room, as they say.
Yeah, the music room. The teacher had not yet come in. As soon as he walked in, he saw new faces. The first thing he did was slap me very hard. Like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. He gave me a very huge slap and I ran out. That was my end of interest in drama school. And those who were in school around those years, you remember a gentleman called Mr. Kato. If he's out there, he really affected my dream negatively then. And you can see such a memory. I carried it on up to today. So that was the end of our drama school in school. Until later on when I was in Intare school, I just joined Intare school, and I think I found them in a phase where they were going through house competitions. And my house, Pioneer House, was not doing very well. On the very day of drama, I jumped on stage and did my thing, and somehow we got to win the competition because of my presentation.
What did you do when you jumped on that stage?
I just jumped, got the microphone and started singing away some crazy raga, mix reggae, and the guys who were using the normal drums. Somehow we pulled off some magic on there. That again brought my confidence back. There's a popular radio presenter in Kampala called Bush Baby, and another friend called Walter. We did form an a cappella group called Zenji, Zenji like African origins, and we were able to do very good a cappellas then. And
you were still students in school, little boys.
S1 to S4 that period.
Were you in the same school, or you were just meeting over holidays?
We would just meeting up in the evenings and go to a soccer field and do our thing, or go to Michael's house and make noise for the neighbors. Those in Bugorobi flats, we messed them up big time. Luckily, the auntie was looking after him, was very accommodative of us. So we did a lot of honing of voices in there. Again, that's the golden era where you listen to groups like Boys to Men, As Yet, After Seven, people who would actually sing and harmonize.
Faces coming to give you inspiration. Luther Vandross.
So if you actually notice, my music still has a tinge of that.
Of the 90s, R&B.
Of the 90s. Actually, one of the reasons I'm coming back to sing is because I don't feel that tinge in our Ugandan artists.
Forget music of these days, Gabriel.
So I want to approach it that way, that you can actually get to sing a proper song and people listen to it and enjoy the harmonies and the backups and all that. Not a quick, happy, dance song that goes out of the airwaves after 3 weeks.
Although I must admit that when I listen to your 16-track album, there is quite a lot of genres. You must have been fishing and trying to see which one would give you the most hits. And, well,
this first track album, to be honest, a few songs, yes, I had a lot of input, but because I was experimenting, I also looked for good songwriters to help me put this album together. Names like Esther Nabasa, she's a very good writer. She won Tusker Project fame in the past years.
She's got an
So her and
incredible
her husband Michael Fingers produced some of my songs. Amazing song. We Just Want Love, Done Waiting, Special Woman. They co-wrote and produced those songs. Other writers would send me their demos. Because I was excited, I would just do the songs that would come my way. But my second album, I've been very picky. It's going to be a lot of urban soul, but still with the Luganda, Brunyankole feel.
I was going to come to that there is a need for you to blend it with the way we perceive music these days. But before we go into that detail, let's play your next song, Gabriel.
Okay, let's do something that has a local tinge to it. Number One is a beautiful song, track number 4 on the album.
The song is titled Number One.
Number One.
Nambiemu. Who is that? Who are you singing about?
Number one. No one in particular. It's a song.
Again, pick from your different songwriters, just exercising your vocal abilities.
So it's up to you, anyone listening, to dedicate that to your number one special person, because I think it's a beautiful song with good lyrics as well.
Let's get down some bit of groove this Sunday evening here on 91.3 Capital FM's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3
Capital FM.
What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful love story, another love story, You deserve my love, but when I see ma, holy chill no more, nalonje mama, ono basinga, mazaka banga mbera kunonya, stars in the dark, sun in the winter, only mune waka, where you are everything, negwalemu, ebirungo byomukwano ngamba anything. Choyagala baby nange nja kuchikola. Number one, baby oli nambemo. Number one, nange nkwagala omu. Number one, baby oli nambemo. Number one, nange nkwagala omu. Sikiriza nkulabe kwemisana. Kalanchi tukalye wali kujevas. Tugende musama tugendeko Miami. Olamu tubulireko Miami. You deserve better. Empewa bwe kufuwa ndete sweta. Sikususe kumukeka. Nja kukola ensi tujifunze. There you are, everything. Negwalimu ebirungo by'omukwano ngamba anything. Buli kyoyagala baby nange nja kukikola. Number one. Baby olina mbemu. Number one. Nange nkwagala omu. Number one. Baby olina mbemu. Number one. Nange nkwagala omu. Make me your right hand man. I wanna be your right hand man. Make me your full-time eyes. Alengera jetulaga fimbi story. I want our love to be a story. Movie. I want our love to be a movie. There you are, everything. Negwalimu ebirungo by'omukwano ngamba anything. Buli kyoyagala baby nange nja kukikola. Number one. Baby olina mbemu. Number one. Nange nkwagala omu.
91.3 Capital FM, Desert Island Discs. Gabriel K. He's a musician now trying to put his passions and all that together to be the musician that he had always wanted to be as a legacy he wants to leave behind. However, day-to-day work, businessman. He runs outdoor advertising. So one imagines so much talent hidden behind that suit and the business look Monday to Friday until you take it off on Saturday possibly and sing. But again, when do you actually get time to sing away from your busy schedule as a businessman?
What I've done is I put a studio at my house. So basically, instead of some TV time, I will be in the studio doing my work. So what I do is normally I call in a good producer. We sit and create. So there's a lot of time really in the evenings to do a lot of work, personal work.
Am I wrong to imagine that, Gabriel, now at 40 you possibly have a child or two?
I have 3 amazing kids.
And they live with you in the same house that you have a studio with?
Kids.
Now, hitting school and being an overnight sensation. But hardly does anyone know that you're putting in quite a bit of time with your friends in that Zenji group that you had, and you are honing your skills. You are trying to mimic all these great inspirational artists that you have with you. But let's also not forget that school means a bit of seriousness.
Yes.
It also means that you've got to, the reason why your parents send you to school is to bring back grades,
yes,
not good vocals. How
That's
are you able
true.
to do that?
That's true. A sense of, again, like the way I was raised, personal responsibility and wanting to achieve a lot in life. So, yes, I was doing the music, but it was also very important for me to be able to perform well in school. Actually, at my university, I'm one of the few people that got a first-class degree, which I sat on, psychology. I would be a trained psychologist, basically. But I sat on it and went into other things.
So you're a guy that does things. One, here you are doing a course in psychology and never practiced any psychology,
No,
even with the first class.
Now, I researched what was going to happen with my life after that. I was offered to do the master's and then lecture at the same time as a teaching assistant. But I looked at the salary scales. I'm sorry to say they were not very appealing.
Considering the fact that
And I needed money, so I had to go and work and get what I thought would sustain me at that particular point in time. And being an academician has never been my biggest goal.
Take us backwards. I mean, you, when Shine Art School, now you take us that particular episode that you made mention of earlier on.
Yeah.
And from that day on, your confidence is boosted.
Yes.
Do you now take music to a higher level, even at the same time being in school?
Not a higher level in terms of me practicing, trying to hone my vocal skills. Mm-hmm. There was an unfinished church in Entari at that time that just before prep time every evening after dinner I would go in there and scream my lungs out. Unfortunately, at that time, you don't know that vocal training is not just about screaming. So I did a lot of vocal damage as well.
Oh dear. Well, that's the best thing you knew at the time. So,
and then I would also go to Scripture Union because the guys there are amazing. They were amazing singers.
And they welcomed everyone.
They
and made you
welcomed
feel
everyone.
Like
First of all, you're worshiping and then you sing at the same time. I go to university. I go on an engineering course, civil engineering.
You're kidding me.
Which I put in 2 years of my life in it. But somehow I couldn't continue. Again, it was a case of resources. I didn't have money to go to finish the course.
Because
I was
sponsorship.
on private sponsorship. My dad tried his best to pay the basic school fees. But as you know, being in Makerere, school fees alone is just half of the expenses.
Perhaps not even half, could be about a third, because you need to feed, you need to get yourself there, you need to do much of the work is picked up from photocopy machines.
Photocopy machine. A lot of things need money. So it was very difficult for me at that point in time. So after 2 years, I had to abandon the course. I would be a civil engineer, I guess. But again, I don't see myself as a civil engineer. It was one of those courses you go for because of parental expectations. They want to see a doctor, they want to see a lawyer, they want to see a priest. So that's how I ended up taking that option. But my passion was always in arts. So when I actually left the course, I went to do arts, and that's how I ended up, doing psychology as a major. Yeah.
So you can't afford fees for one sciences, then you quit and then go to the arts, or was there a buffer in between? You told us earlier on in the program that at one time then you had to come and work at WBS TV as one of the first anchors in there. At what point in your life?
I took, I think, about a year, before I got back to school. Because I took a dead year. Between that dead year, I applied again, and I was given the arts. But WBS came in and, of course, helped me to earn to be able to pay.
How did you get the job in there? You just walked in and...
I just walked in as confident as I could be, and I met a very sweet lady called Tili Monge. She gave me an opportunity to just sit in front of the set and say a few lines. And I got the job immediately.
Let's not make it seem like it was that easy, that you just walked into an establishment, found a lady at the reception, and bang, you on TV the next moment.
Incidentally, it happened. That's what happened.
You're
Incidentally,
kidding.
I just walked in,
and
just
said,
like
I'm
that.
Gabriel K.
No, I'd actually met her earlier at Capital Radio.
Right here.
Yeah, at Capital Radio. She was a programs director briefly. So and then again, I worked in Capital Radio when I was at university and wanted to be a presenter on radio. And she put me on air within days. But I spent like 4 or 5 days on air. I guess I was not good enough for air then, so I didn't get the job, as I was never confirmed. A few months later, she goes to TV. I go there, I find her there again, and she gives me an opportunity, and I excelled at the TV. So I was meant for TV, I guess, then.
Maybe
maybe
it has a lot to do with your looks. Well, the ladies who don't have the opportunity of looking at him, I think he looks quite a bit of what you ladies may want to refer to as eye candy.
No comment. Later on, I went into radio again, to a southern radio station, and I worked there with a very late night program called The Midnight Caller. The late Ronnie, who was working at here, the concept of his show is exactly what I was doing even before he started it. People calling in with love issues and stuff, and you try
yourself
to be
a bit of a doctor love of
a love doctor of sorts. Yeah, so I've done it all, really. Anything called media, I've done it all. I've even written. I was running a column in the Monitor newspaper for over 2 years.
What were you writing about, Gabi?
General life stuff, really. Just general life interest stories, entertainment, and that sort of thing. So I've done print, I've done radio, I've done TV. Now I'm in outdoor advertising.
So all that time, these hours you're putting in, of course, like they say, work without play makes Jack a dull boy. At what point were you attending to the little things that, interest a young man? Because let's not forget, you are growing, you are, you want to explore life's little luxuries. There are parties around town. Or was partying part of the job?
For example, part of the job.
That magazine of yours that you are producing.
Which was part of the job. Showtime magazine would you'd end up in clubs filming and stuff. Our boss Elvis Sechans owned Club Silk then, which was I think it was one of the biggest clubs then. And we had free entrances as staff. So yes, a lot of partying did happen around the time as a young man. Yeah.
Well, talking about party, I think it's just about time you play your next song so that at least our listeners can get a feel over what a party feels like.
Okay, I think we should do the Done Waiting.
But let's listen to Done Waiting. Again, You told us that you were experimenting with your album, checking out different genres and all that.
Yeah.
But just before we play a song, if I may ask, which of those strikes out your persona and, of course, your music passion? Is it R&B? Is it reggae? Is it Afropop? Where do you have your mojo?
Urban soul. I'm going to, like, my next album has a lot of the urban feel, but it's Afro soul. I could say Afro soul because I insist that I drop in Swahili, Luganda, and other languages for you to be different. You don't want to come across like you are a Western artist wannabe. You have to have your own feel. So yes, I'm mixing a lot of urban R&B with soul. So it's a strange mix of urban R&B, soul music, and Afropop.
Incredible.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3
Capital FM.
Long time I've been loving you, girl, and I've given it all I got. We've come a long way, and I've been trusting you, girl, and I thought we would be alright. But I've known for a long time now that you've been stringing me along for your pleasure. And though I try so hard to show you the real love, you wanna play me for a fool. So I think I'm done waiting for you. I think I'm done longing for you, 'cause I've given it long enough. I think I'm not hurting for you, 'cause we only live one time. And now I'm wasted on you, girl, one time. And now I'm wasted on you, girl. In the long run, everything comes full circle, yeah. And I'm better off than before. Oh, I see through those false tears that you're crying. We've been through all this before. 'Cause I'm known for a long time now that you've been stringing me along for your pleasure. And though I try so hard to show you the real love, you wanna play me for a fool. So I think I'm done waiting for you. I think I'm done longing for you, 'cause I've given it long enough. I think I'm not hurting for you, 'cause we only live one time. And now I'm wasted on you, girl, one time. And now I'm wasted on you, girl. I think I'm not waiting for you. I think I'm not longing for you, 'cause I've given it long enough. I think I'm not hurting for you, 'cause we only live one time. And now I'm wasted on you, girl, one time. And now I'm wasted on you, girl. So waiting for you, girl.
91.3 Capital FM, Desert Island Cities, and yes, we are having a good time listening in to the life story of Gabriel K, but more importantly, listening to his music that is contained in a 16-track album. Done Waiting is the title of the track. We just played the signature or the title track to that album just as we concluded the last break, and now we're going deeper into his life story. So Gabriel, what reception so far have you received from, you've not held a concert, you've not had an album launch, but you just dropped your album to whoever cares to listen? What feedback are you getting?
It's amazing, really. Like I said, I started this as a hobby. Initially, I was just saying, let me do something I enjoy, just for me, and my friends and my family members to listen to. But the moment I dropped a few songs, and the response I started seeing on social media, the feedback, I was in shock. I was like, actually, I could do this seriously. So yes, I've taken it seriously, and people are receiving it very well. I get feedback from as far countries as I was shocked to get a comment from somebody in Peru about this song, We Just Want Love. Wow. Zambians seem to love a lot of my music. They have on my Facebook page, they are there, a lot of them commenting about my music.
Because their language is almost similar to ours,
yes,
so they pick some of the
love the music. And because, of course, music now is streamed easily on social media without having to pay much, you get across easily to many audiences. Then, of course, Stress TV, because I do quality videos, they have been able to play my music as well. Like I said, eventually I took it seriously, and I started working with the best in the industry, the best producers, the best videographers. One of my videographers, Eronea, Sasha Vibes, the big names, the people that I use. Because I've put out a quality product, I believe it's a quality product. People have received it very well.
Putting out a quality product that comes at a huge cost, I must imagine you must pay top dollar for this stuff.
Yes, music is an expensive venture.
And yet we don't pay to listen to this music.
You have not been paying because I've been building a brand. For example, I gave out a lot of free CDs in the first few months of this year. But now I have the CDs from this past week. They have been distributed in so many shopping outlets, Aristoc Booklets, and other places, and people are going to have to buy them now.
Wow.
I just hope I get the support
that is required.
What
about the usual menace that comes along with now social media and the like, where someone uploads your song and downloading it is just like this, click away and I'm listening to your vibes without paying a penny, except to the telecom company that enabled me to have enough MBs to download you?
Like you said, it's a menace. You can't control that much, because whenever you try to put measures, there are people already cracking software to still get your songs off. There's nothing much really you can do. The only hope is that people can buy physical records, those who generally would want to support you, but people can still access your music freely in so many ways, so many platforms,
including listening to it here on the
so the way you make money out of music eventually is the telecos will take up your music for caller tunes and stuff like
some
that,
kind of loyalties.
That's how you possibly would make money. But in the big picture, eventually, is to do concerts, and I'll keep my thing a little exclusive, not wanting to come across as a snob, but I want a brand that, again, that people who really do appreciate music. So my aim, for example, the first concert I'm going to do is going to be an invite-only concert. No one will pay money to watch it.
That invitation list,
but I'll have people that would possibly push my brand, would support my brand, come and attend and listen. It's basically a mixture of a listening party and a concert. I'll perform even if it's a listening party. So then I'll have industry people like you who have given me a platform like this.
Wow, incredible. I feel honored.
So then from that point on, I'll be able to get a direction on where and who I can perform to. But the fact is, I want this brand to go global. So,
Gabriel, do you have a band that will back you up and all that?
Yes, I do. What I've decided to do is I don't have a permanent band, as in equipment and people with me. But I have.
You don't have to.
I have a collection
on a single car, but they have.
I have a collection of guys who actually play for international artists when they come here. The collection, Elijah Chitaka is behind me a lot, and his group of people. And they are, right now we've done our songs, like any day now, snap of the finger, would be on stage and doing magic.
Wow. Are you able to play an instrument? Any instrument?
I do piano and guitar, but I'm not very. I cannot claim to be
a maestro.
Yes,
but at least you can play
one to soothe the soul. For example, in the US, you cannot call yourself a musician if you don't play an instrument. So you need to get to
bubblegum music, as they call it.
Yeah, you need to get that.
Gabriel, you have a business going, and you have a family to feed, and you've got money to make. Music may not quite bring out that money as quickly as you would want to spend it. If anything, it's actually taking money away from your other establishments. Now let's look down back into your business. As a businessman, do you feel that your business is firm on its feet and can run with you moonlighting as a musician and going the full length to be an established brand in the musical industry?
Okay, music is an investment. I might be spending on it, but the long-term picture, it should be able to make the money back and make even much more than even the existing businesses. Again, depends on how big you dream. My dream is big. My music must go big. So if that's the dream, then I'm hoping it.
So Gabriel K one day would be on the nomination list for the Grammys, and possibly we see you holding it right in
That's a dream that I must have. Otherwise, I'm going to do mediocre music. Somebody might listen and say, come on, he's a dreamer. Yes, I'm a dreamer.
And you must dream.
But I work hard to get there, and I will work hard to get there. That's why I'm putting in a lot. So you're talking of investment in media, billboards and stuff like that. It takes a lot of money, but again, it's an investment. You see, there's a difference between Gabriel K and Gabriel Kakuru. Gabriel K is a brand, like any other business, and musicians must have got to learn that you are Apis and you're Bagonza. And Apis is an amazing guy. He has learned his brand and he pushes.
How come you mentioned that particular example?
Because I admire his sound, I admire his work ethic and his product. Even if you're using your real name like Maurice Kidia, you're still a brand. There's Maurice Kidia, the family person, then there's Maurice Kidia, the brand.
Yes.
So you run it as a business. For example, I have it as a record label, GK Music. I have staff sitting in offices working on my brand, running my social media pages, looking out for festivals in the future in different countries. So I have staff. I'm running it as a business.
But
with
who
proper
is managing
invoices,
that?
vouchers, accounting system, and
So are you managing it yourself?
I have staff, but at the helm I'm there, but I have staff doing it. The essence of management is very important in music. There are a few professional managers in this industry. Swang's Avenue, as a brand, they manage their artists very well, and they have pushed their artists to international platforms. Vinka is signed up big time. Jeff Chiwanuka has taken Shiba in big ways in many places, and the artists he manages as well. Unfortunately, there are not many others that I know. The people that I know simply believe in running around with
With a flash disc
with their music to radio stations and stuff. They don't build structures to sustain their artists.
Gabriel, let's play the next song.
Okay, you've listened to my album. I gave it to you a few months ago. I would appreciate it if you picked any song yourself this time. Do me the favor, the honors.
The honors to pick any song. What is love? It's a question that you even don't answer in the song.
What is love without you? It's answered. What is love without you? There's an answer there.
I know, and it's an incredible ballad. I love listening to it, and your voice really comes out so clear, and
There I went hardcore R&B.
And that's the kind of stuff I really like. And for a Sunday evening like this, I'm sure that's the best way to wind down. So let's play number 3 on your album, which is What Is Love?
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Loving you is what I promised to you. Loving me, girl, is what you promised me. I look at the moon, I look at the sun, everything is turning around. When I look at my life, I think of your life, I think of the future. What is love without you? What is life without you? What is love without you? Everything is turning around. What is love without you? What is life without you? What is love without you? Everything is turning around. Your love is pure, your love is true, your love is everything to me. Your love is real, your love is future. What to do without your love? I'm like a child with no one to care. I'm like a sheep without a shepherd. I'm like the world without the people, when everything is upside down. What is love without you? What is life without you? What is love without you? Everything is turning around. What is love without you? What is life without you? What is love without you? Everything is turning around. Light up the candle, forget the scandals, yeah. Put your myself in my sandals. Oh yeah, you and me, we make a bundle. Vako bigambo byabo yenze akwagala. Na 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 na
Ninety 1.3 Capital FM, Desert Island Discs on this wonderful Sunday evening. Gabriel K, incredible gentleman, businessman, now musician, and looks like he's doing this really seriously. And who knows, we're looking, or we possibly are seated with the legend right now, Midstand, we do not know. Now, so Gabriel, let's get down to your personality as an individual, the things that motivate you, the things that drive you, the virtues and philosophies that you hold that have made you the man that you are today. Perhaps also a few dreams that have not been realized, or some aspirations that you haven't met but that you're working on. So we'll start. What gets you angry?
Okay. In terms of music, is the unprofessionalism that I've found in the industry. Suppliers, what can I say?
Promoters or no, it's okay. You go.
For example, you give somebody a contract to do something for you, like a video, and the song is already playing on air. 4 months down the road, the person has not done your video, so the song has faded. I mean, it has lost. And when you call them,
when you call them,
there's always excuses. So I found that in videographers. I found that in sound recorders as well. Guys who produce the music, and you'll do a song, and because the song is supposed to be mixed and mastered, the guy will hold your song for weeks on end, month on end. And the problem has been that I normally pay them up front. Okay, so the sense of trust that I get from people when I commit to them really icks me. That really upsets me in terms of music. In terms of business, again, when you have people that are not self-motivated, who don't plan, that you have to micromanage, that also vexes me a lot. And I normally don't hang on to such people long.
You let them go.
I have to let them go. On a personal level, what would make me angry? If you touched my family, my biggest motivation in life are my children. Like, I live for them, I work for them. Whatever I do it for them. And so ultimately,
if anyone touches
you don't
them,
go there. You just simply don't
What's
go there.
the touch are we talking about here? Like if at school they are disciplined?
No, discipline is okay. Discipline.
You actually
is
have a
okay.
moment when you spank them a little.
No, I don't spank my kids.
Never have.
But they have a quiet corner to go to that corner and sit there for a bit and reflect. Or you take out the remote.
So you are the guy that plays the deny. I will deny you this.
Yeah, you
privilege.
take out and the biggest punishment is when you take out that remote.
Wow, incredible. If I were to pay you a visit at your house, Gabriel, and or you pay me a visit at my house, and I'm to make you a meal, what would make it to the list of your favorite dish?
Kind of hard to say right now since I'm trying to lose weight, eh?
So you have to do some vegetables.
But on an average day when I'm not going to watch the carbs anymore, I think having that matoke, G-nut sauce with fish in it works for me.
You just
and I'm definitely coming to yours to experience that.
How do you know that's my favorite dish? Matoke? A meal without matoke is no meal to me. And if you have that fish in G-nut paste, you have me on game. How do you wash it down usually?
It's perfect for me.
How would you like to wash it down?
Of course, water, normal water. But on a good evening, I love my whiskey.
Wow, single malt or you like the blend?
I love my whiskey.
Anyone
who knows me knows this guy, his blood is flowing with Jack Daniels. Like, it's my drink.
Well, I think we should sip some of this.
I should become a brand ambassador if they are listening.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Or at least they should. With your music and outreach. A typical day in your life, how does it pan out for you? Businessman, musician, what's your typical day like? Let's not forget your father, you everything else.
Work. the company business comes first. I have to attend to my clients and their emails and their feedback and my staff and all that. The billboard business, that is. The elevator business, making sure the elevators are maintained, a very critical part. So I'm out there in the field making sure that happens. Then, of course, in the evenings, it's again music. But now, of course, I'm injecting in the gym. I really need to get that look of a musician eventually.
Well, Luther Van suffered with a lot of weight issues for a long time. And
yes, but now, like I said,
I'm take inspiration from him. Right. Although, well, as they can say, see where he ended.
Yeah. So the thing is, then of course, my kids are always in the picture. For example, I pay for a school shuttle to pick them and drop them. But many a time I choose to pick them myself. They will drop them in the mornings because mornings are difficult. But in the afternoons after school, I tend to want to pick them myself to be able to bond with them in that little drive, that little journey. Yes. Like I say, they define who I am. A smile on my kid's face makes my
brightens
day.
up your day. Exactly. And all that.
Actually, my new album, I'm having about a song or two dedicated to kids.
Does any one of your children have a musical genius in them that you have identified as a father? Or you don't want them to get involved? You want them to write programs?
I see my little girl, Abigail, seems to be very good. Vocally, she's very good. I've seen her, be on the school choir as well. So, yeah. But like I said, I still want to shield them from this side of things.
I thought you wanted to plan to do, say, a father-daughter duet one of these days.
Maybe when she's old enough to make her own decisions in terms of that direction.
But
right now, I'm keeping them open-minded. To do whatever they feel they want to do, and I just support them. I don't want to impose my dreams on them.
Gabriel, if one asked you where you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years, where would you tell them you will be? Soaring with the world's greatest on the stage?
In terms of music?
In everything. Music, business?
Business, I'm
and from the look of things, even politics. You musicians start from giving us wonderful lyrics, and the next thing, you are clenching fists and calling us to
that I first put an X to it. I have no blood, no inkling whatsoever of wanting to be a politician. They say human beings are naturally politicians, but in terms of me standing and saying, give me a vote for something, I don't see myself ever going in that direction, really. I want to stick to my businesses and my music. In terms of music, I honestly, like I said, I want to make this a global brand. So I want to see myself having reached and performed on international stages and festivals. And let this be a testimony one day to someone listening.
We'll save this audio.
That he actually made it when I do that, okay? But in terms of business, I have tried my hand to open branches in some countries. For example, I exist in Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania. Let's see whether I can also go to a few more countries. Yeah.
And grow the brand.
And grow the brand, yeah.
Well, Gabriel K, it's been a pleasure having you on the program.
I am humbled and thankful that you had me.
There's that one question that no one escapes when they come to the desert island.
Yes.
Previously we asked, who or what would you carry with you if you are marooned on a desert island? We'll spare you that question. Now we amended it in a bid to appreciate and reflect on the beauty that this country of ours does hold for us. And so now I ask, where in this beautiful country of ours would you, if you were to choose, to get marooned, and why?
Okay, let's see. Marooned. Like you're stuck there.
Well, there's
my village.
Get stuck. Go
my
enjoy
village
yourself. Go reflect.
But in terms of reflecting and enjoying yourself and having a good time, definitely I would go to Chobe Lodge. I've been there a few times. It's an amazing place. It's an amazing place.
I insist, if someone knows Mr. Mayul Madvani, I think they better in picking interest in this particular segment of the program. 8 out of 10 guests who sit on that chair, when I ask them where they would love to be marooned in this country, their answer is an unequivocal Chobe Lodge.
Because he's done his best. His projects, whatever he touches, he puts quality in it. You're very comfortable there. He chose a very prime location. It can't get any better than there. There's another place that I also did a video. Actually, the number one video, I did it at Wild Waters, Kayunga. It's a beautiful place as well.
It's beautiful.
It's an amazing place.
Have you considered doing a video at Chobe? Or none of your music is wired enough to...
I think, I don't know, I task my team to see whether it's possible, but I can imagine he will charge me an arm and a leg. But sometimes it's worth it. sometimes it's worth it. I mean, when you put out a brand that is that strong, a video is that strong, it gets noticed. So it opens doors for you. So sometimes it's okay to invest in that.
The one Kardashian was there with the husband, Kanye West, the
So you
highest
can
earning rap artist in this year. So clearly, doing a video there would possibly put you in that ring. Maybe that could be.
But then they would want to charge me like him, and then I would run away, you know. So
You need to remind them you're Gabriel K. Gabriel K, it's been a pleasure having you on the program and sharing with us your life story. It's clearly a story of a man that knows what he wants and a guy that pursues his passions. But also importantly, it shows that in every one of us, there is a certain mojo, and the best we can do is not to suffocate it. At some point in our lives, we just need to let go and say, you know what? I have held this passion for so long. If age is not against me, let me go ahead and pursue it. I mean, I see incredible footballers that I saw in high school walking these streets in suits, and I'm asking myself, why
What
is the
happened?
Ugandan team not winning international trophies? And yet we have this incredible talent walking here. He
Yes.
could possibly be one of those.
yes.
Although, of course, things like football is about age. Now, with music, I'm told the
ageless.
older, the better, just like fine wine. What will be the song that you want to leave our listeners for their listening pleasure?
Okay,
You want to take us into the newest album that you have?
exactly. That's where I was going to go. I'm going to sample you with one of the songs that are on the coming album.
Not yet released, so clearly we're going to have the pleasure of
Actually,
listening
it is. The thing is, I tried to sample it as well. It's the video that came out
In the
week. So, Twanwe Day, not Twanwe Day. There is a double D and a single D. This has a single D.
Twanwe Day is we drunk.
There is we drunk, then there is we grew strong.
We are
so
farm.
Twanwe Day, we were farm. We're now farming our love. That's the song I'll leave you with. A beautiful reggae song.
Reggae song.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a night. You've just really made my evening. It's 91.3 Capital FM, Desert Island Discs here. And we've had quite an incredible moment with Gabriel K, a musician, as it is, with regard to passion and everything in there. But when it comes to real hard work and the stuff he does on a day-to-day basis and where he is living the most part, a businessman. It's been a pleasure, and we believe that we'll host you once again on this program with your life story taking a turn that you have promised us it will. Possibly as a Grammy Awards winner, we would love to listen to your life
The
story.
listeners' party in your yard, hopefully someday.
Well,
Thank you, Simon. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it a lot.
We'll be right back, same time, same place, next Sunday with yet another incredible life story, as it is always our quest to serve you extraordinary life stories from ordinary folks. God bless you.
Gabriel K, come again. Come on. Pandika basimula, bagalonde ke batinkula, pita obasimula, mwanona kaya mubidule, banzi chikisange byaita, mumakubo chetwakulira chetwaita, mwasimasima kotiga, they say you're a sinner, but I'm a sinner too. I only wanna satisfy my honey, suti chilo besa wemu wakumani, esuta sanga sambali, sanyuli omutima gwange aikola honey. Twanywede, omukwano gwafe twanywede, so let them talk, sisobola kuva oli nyabo. Fe twanywede, omukwano gwafe twanywede, so let them talk, sisobola kuva oli nyabo. Omukwano gwogali olabi nayo, njagala omutima gwoyo bali ayo. We would face a storm together, kakati one reason together. You and me, fe babiri, nakubaganya kale bali na tabiri. Oh yeah, it don't matter, no, yeah. It don't matter, no, yeah. I only wanna satisfy my honey. Suti chilo besa wemu wakumani, esuta sanga sambali, sanyoli omutima gwange aikola honey. Twanywede, omukwano gwafe twanywede, so let them talk, sisobola kuva oli nyabo. Fe twanywede, omukwano gwafe twanywede, so let them talk, sisobola kuva oli nyabo. To the moon and back, Shiruna Misana, I'm the dawn, you're the back. Gwegwenteresa bwe tutoba, uberera bwe kiriba, yeah. I only wanna satisfy my honey, suti chilo besa bwe muwakumani, esuta tasanga sambali sanyu ly'omutima gwange akola hane twanywedde omukwano gwaffe gwanywedde so let them talk sisobola kuva oli nyabo ffe twanywedde omukwano gwaffe gwanywedde so let them talk sisobola kuva oli nyabo ffe twanywedde omukwano gwaffe gwanywedde so let them talk sisobola kuva oli nyabo ffe twanywedde omukwano gwaffe gwanywedde so let them talk